Disney is working in conjunction with IMDb to have our 1 out of 10 reviews removed. Isn't it strange how the Nazis burnt books once, yet today they simply erase literature with a simple click of a button? Sometimes I feel undervalued online when they muzzle and suppress my speech with censorship, as it's so sanitized today. These idiots have removed 2 of my reviews so far. I'll read some of this after the toilet main one. But here are some titles from reviewers. So awful, they aren't even exaggerating. It's really that bad. Delusions of Grandeur, that's a Jedi reference. Meh. Star Wars for elementary schoolers, cringe. The dark times, literally. Are you hearing this, Disney? The creator seems to have a strong disdain for the franchise. Wishing this was far, far away. Great if you have other stuff you need to do. I don't know. Painful to watch. Even a 5-year-old can do a better job. It just goes on and on. All I was saying in my review was that Disney's Acolyte is a lot like a steamroller in that it destroys everything in its path and moves at a snail's pace. And you could equate this show to the streets and shops of Los Angeles and San Francisco, empty, hollow, and soulless. But the punchline, the kicker of my review, was this. Headland has tapped into an underground commode pipe system and resourced rich rubbish to smear our TV screens. They didn't go for that shit. Boycott Star Wars projects in the future. What was offensive about any of that? Speaking of Star Wars, coincidentally, about an hour ago, I received an email from an old friend curious to know if my third given name, Luke, was derived from Star Wars. At the time, yes it was. But due to Disney's interference, I now associate that Luke name with the egg-eating, cool-hand Luke fella from the Sundance Kid, to keep in line with my first name, Brett, which is from the Rockford Files Brett Maverick fella. And this is all due to Disney's domino effect, which has destroyed everything and made it embarrassing today to be a Star Wars fan. If you've got a few minutes, I want to read this person's review. It's the MVP of them all. They're destroying my nostalgic childhood memories of Star Wars. Diego Paduan. Someone needs to do something. They're destroying my nostalgic childhood memories of Star Wars. I loved Star Wars as a kid, but now I hate it. My sentiments too. Are you hearing this, Disney? I want to forget this new direction. We need to take action. Stop watching / consuming Star Wars or other Disney content franchises. Stop spending money on it. Cancel Disney Plus. Boycott Disney and Star Wars merchandise, etc. The Acolyte seems to be an utter betrayal of everything that made the original Star Wars great. We need a strong response from fans, a mass exodus from Disney Plus, a complete boycott of Star Wars and Disney merchandise, and a loud outcry of disapproval could get their attention. This trend can't be allowed to continue. Let's stop consuming this kind of content and start protesting. Kathleen Kennedy and those responsible need to be fired for their incompetent decisions, which have alienated fans and tarnished the Star Wars legacy. Kathleen Kennedy is a fucking terrorist. This is an inside job to intentionally sabotage George Lucas's creation, purely out of jealousy from a bitter, vindictive, sinister person. Bob Iger came out in a statement only recently, claiming that a minority of Star Wars fans are causing a ruckus because of the Acolyte. A minority? That minority you speak of, sir, is the silent majority voicing their displeasure at your product. In this statement, Iger also insisted that they're just going to keep continuing down this path, chartering it to oblivion. And major props to that little Wednesday Addams chick, Ortega, is it? Man, she was fired recently from Disney. Why? Because she expressed an opinion which wasn't cohesive to their way of thinking. Yeah, she stood up to you, Disney, and you didn't like it one bit at all. Ever since this garbage has been released, I've been really angry. It's unhealthy. It puts you in a dark place. But make no mistake, Disney has to recoup their losses, so what better way than upping the ante with this upcoming Skeleton Crew to make it a bit more solid in the vein of a Rogue One clone. Is it just me, or does Headland look like Tackleberry in drag, sporting a Billy Ray Cyrus wig? I was theorizing lately, with all these left-wing fucks encouraging children today into believing they're non-binary and all this shit. What if it's an intentional push to stymie the flow of population growth? Think about it. What a sick universe. The thread is not with me.